Welcome to Champ's Corner. My name is Danny Calafell. Every Monday I come to you guys live, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we talk business, sales, and increasing income. Coming off of a very eventful weekend. We had the Super Bowl here in Miami. It was crazy. A lot of people, I believe they said it was like over almost close to about 200,000 people came to our city, and with all the parties and everybody from everywhere really, and it was real eventful, and halftime show, everything was real good, and we're back, in work mode, workflow, and I'm gonna dive right in. Today we're gonna be talking about rejection and how to overcome it, and that could be applied to so many different areas, in life and business and sales. I always talk about, life period is full of rejection, and rejection is another word for resistance. So I mean, rejection is basically resistance. You something, a force resisting you. We could even look it up. It's a force resisting you from getting from doing something, from pushing forward. Here, we'll look it up real quick. I'm very big on this. It's the dismissing or refusing of an idea. That's just one definition. There's so many different definitions. It's the act of pushing someone or something away. Rejection from a relationship, rejection from a business, rejection for something you're trying to offer somebody, rejection from a number of different things. But mainly what we're going to stick to is in regards to business and sales. Guys, I do this every Monday, and I come to you guys live, and I try to express as much as I can as far as much as information that I've accumulated over the years. I've been doing business for about 10 years. Had my company about 8, and I've accumulated a lot of information and a lot of knowledge within that time, and I'm constantly learning. I'm a very, very big student of what it is that I specialize in, which is in business and sales. That's what I focus on, and this is the information that I spread out, and I help educate people on based off of the experiences that I've had, things that I've learned, and things that I'm constantly learning. So back to today's show, we're going to talk about rejection. Throughout my life, throughout my career, I can't tell you how many times I've been rejected, pushed away from something, and it took me time to really understand how this, how it works and how to overcome it, and what things that you can do to be able to put up with it, deal with it, and continue pushing forward. And one of the things that I've learned throughout my career and throughout life period has been to learn to appreciate rejection. See, because anything, just like anything in life, when they say things that are hard you want because it makes you hard, it makes you tough, it makes you hard. It's like the more difficult, what's the phrase that the saying is, it's the more difficult something is, the more rewarding the triumph. Okay, so it's the same thing with rejection. The more you're rejected, the more it teaches you to how to get around it, how to overcome it, how to be more confident. Things that you did, you can reflect on it. Hey, what did I do wrong? How did I approach this situation? Start assessing the problem, assessing the situation, and how you could have done better, instead of giving up and then lowering targets, which is something that that's another subject, but that's something that I'm very big on also, as far as decreasing your target, decreasing your it's like I want to make a, if you're making, if you're in a job and you're making 60, 70 a year, you're like, okay, well, I want to hit 150,000 a year, but then you realize it's a little bit more difficult to hit that number than you thought. So then you start dropping it down. So then you're like, okay, well, you know what? Instead of 150,000, maybe I'll just drop it back down to maybe 80,000, 90,000 a year, something like that. And it could be that happens in a lot of different scenarios. I mean, you take guys that approach women, it's like, okay, well, I'm gonna start, trying to approach this girl. She keeps pushing me away. So it's like, all right, I'm gonna give up on her and I'm gonna go to somebody maybe, less attractive or something like that, because it's easier, or with more of, I'm gonna drop my target. I'm gonna drop my expectations because it's just too difficult. And that's a lot of times what rejection does to people when they don't know how to deal with it. Because when you don't know how to deal with it, then you start making sense of what it is that you're being rejected from. And then it starts deterring you from your targets, from your goals, from things that you want out of life, out of a relationship, out of business, in sales, which we're going to get into. So it's like, for me personally, I want rejection. The more rejection I get, the more I appreciate it. And I know the more it develops me as a businessman and as a salesman. And as a businessman, it develops me more because it's like, okay, now I know I'm going to be dealing with harder challenges and new challenges. Another thing I want to get into is as far as sales. Everything in life is a sale. I always talk about this. I said it in the book that I wrote. If you guys want to pick that up, it's on Amazon. It's called The Sales Roadmap. It's basically a guide on how to get you from point A to point B, knowing where you're at, knowing where you're going, and then knowing how to get there. And that's why it's called The Sales Roadmap. It gives you a map of how to get from point A to point B. And in that book, I talk about very, very, very in-depth strategies and tactics on, things that the average salesperson ends up coming across, which one of the things is rejection and how to deal with it. And a lot of people don't understand that they are in sales, even though they might not think they are, they are. And everything in life is a sale, whether you're selling yourself on a job, you're selling yourself to a husband or spouse. I always talk about this. And the point that I'm trying to make here is that at the end of the day, it's a numbers game. All right, it's a numbers game. Whether we could take this into a number of different things. I mean, from, you applying to jobs, you're looking for work, and you get on the phone and you're doing one or two interviews, or you're doing you're making just a few calls and sending your resume out to a few places, and you're getting rejected. You're not getting the results that you're wanting or that you're hoping for. You reach out to this one company, you really want it, you put all your eggs in that basket, and it's like, all right, I got my eggs in this basket, I'm really hoping that I get a call back, and it's like, I don't. So now it's like, all right, well, maybe that job that I applied to is looking for more than what I can offer. So now you start having self-doubt, and now you start, again, lowering your target. Now, instead of you sticking to what it is that you originally wanted and say, you know what, I'm not going to let this rejection break me. I'm not going to let it drop me from what it is that I really want and what I truly want. I'm going to stay here, and you know what? The fact that I got rejected, I'm going to push even harder to get what I want, which is what a lot of jobs ask for. See, a lot of people don't realize this. When you're looking for a job, they want you to push. They want to show that you want the job that bad, where you're going to do whatever it takes to get it, because in their mind, they're like, okay, well, if they're doing whatever it takes to get it, that means they're going to do whatever it takes when they get in to go above and beyond. And those are the people that I want working here. And it's the same thing I do with my company. When we put out ads, and when I interview people, I want to see how bad they want the job, because that's going to give me an idea of how hard they're going to work. I mean, if they just expect me to call back, they could wait till next year, because that's not going to happen. We're not just going to pick up the phone and give you the job that easy. And I mean, that's why I say everything in life could be applied to as a sale. You got guys. Listen, you have guys, and I know, and I'm going to go ahead and say this. You have guys that are with some really, really beautiful women, and you look at the guy and you're like, how the hell did he get that woman? How the hell did he get that woman? And I'm going to tell you, that's because he was very persistent. It ties into persistence. He was so persistent. He was so confident. He showed that woman everything that she was looking for, even though she rejected him, because I'm sure if you sit them both down, she'll go ahead and she'll give you a whole story as long as just like he will, and he's going to say, man, I got rejected left and right. I didn't even think I was going to get this girl, but I kept pushing and I kept pushing and I kept pushing. Girl's going to say the same thing. I wasn't even interested in him. That's why I kept pushing him away. I wouldn't have given him the time of the day. Okay? And it was the persistence and the fact that she kept rejecting and he kept pushing. Why? Because he had the confidence, he had the persistence, and he knew, he was very sure of himself. All right, which ties me into, if you're in business, all right, you got a business. Those of you guys that have businesses, those of you that are thinking about starting a business, you have family or friends that are in businesses, make sure you guys post below, comment, and share with people that you do know that's in business if you're not, and if if you're in sales. And the bottom line is that if you have a business, going back, if you do have a business, you're going to get rejected. You're going to get rejected. The fact that you're going to have rejection from people that you want to get into business with. You're going to have rejection from maybe suppliers or distributors. They're not going to want to deal with you. I mean, I talk to people sometimes that are in, that have a company and they're looking to get into the distribution, scenario of, like, whether it be supermarkets like Whole Foods or, one of those, big brand, name brand stores. And one of the main things is, how do I get in? And you're going to get rejected in the beginning because they're going to want to see how serious you are, number one. And number two, they're going to also want to see how much push you're going to be pushing towards the product, because they want to see what's going to happen when they put the product on the shelf. Because now you're having to compete with it. They're not just going to give you the business that easy. And that's where the rejection comes in. And that's having to deal with the rejection. And that's why I say it's a numbers game. You got to hit so many times. You got to make so many calls. You got to reach out to these people so many times to get their attention. Then once you have the attention, keep their attention long enough to be able to do your pitch, to get your product in their store, get your product on the shelf, get your product, out there. And it comes with the rejection. Now, how do you get around the rejection? By the volume and the actions that you take surrounding that. So I'm not going to do, normally what I do with the show is I'll talk about this, and then afterwards I give the advice. I'm tying everything all in together so we can just, knock this out in one shot. And bottom line is, what you need to do is, you need to come up with the fact and the idea that you're going to have to make a lot of calls. You're going to have to reach out to them, and not a lot of calls to a number of different businesses, because we're going to get into that when it comes to sales. I'm talking about if you have a company. If you have a company, you're going to have to make a number of calls to that same business to show your eagerness to want to do business with them, number one. And number two, okay, the fact that you are the person that they would want to do business with, because you're going to be that persistent and you're going to have that much energy going forward. They're not going to give it to you easily. The same thing from the guy who's not going to just go up to the girl, approach the girl, get her number and take her out on a date and get lucky that night. It might happen, but a lot of times it doesn't. Because you get a woman who knows her value, who knows if she's not gonna give you the time of day like that. She wants you to work for it. Same thing with these businesses. They want you to work for it. They're not just gonna give you the business. They might need it, but they don't need it as bad as you need it. So it's like, you need to prove yourself. You need to show, what you need to show how bad you want it. And another big thing is, the more rejection. This is another thing that I talk about. The more rejection you're getting from a business, or the more rejection you're getting from somebody, the more valuable that thing is. Okay, if it's too easy, chances are you don't want it. If it's too easy, you don't want it. It's like, that's why I said I want rejection. I want rejection because I know that, okay, this is something that I got. I've called on companies, and they've literally I've tried to work with companies for months before getting their business, and in some cases over a year. And the reason why I kept trying was because I knew that company wouldn't be rejecting me if it was if they were not as valuable, then they would have given me the time of the day at that moment. Okay, but the fact that they were rejecting me lets me know that, hey, you know what? I'm dealing with a big player. I'm dealing with these guys are serious. These guys, mean business, and there's going to be a lot of reward behind this. Okay, so that's a very big note to take. The more rejection you get, the more resistance you get from a business. All right, the more rejection you get from a business, the more valuable you can even translate it into the more valuable that deal is. And in some cases, will be. And like I said, you want the rejection, and then you wanna figure out ways to start getting creative. I always talk about creativity. Start getting creative on how to get around the rejection to get to the point where you start getting their attention well enough so they can start hearing out, listening to you, and then wanting to go forward either with the deal, with a meeting, and then that's your chance to do your pitch. Now that's if you have a business. When we get back, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, I'll talk to you guys about sales, and then we'll take it from there. You guys are in Champ's Corner. I'll see you guys in just a minute.
Hi, my name is Tom Cochiti.
Hi there, my name is Jose Rivera.
Hey, my name is Joel Williams.
TRIWORLD, and the training that he does for my agents, for my sales staff, is incredible.
He helped me overcome objections and also relay information to my employees and train them as well.
I can gladly say that TRIWORLD Sales Academy changed my life. This training is actually real and it works. If you want to learn about sales, business, or marketing, I would definitely go here instead of college. Seriously, it's a way better investment.
We're back. Champ's Corner. My name is Danny Calafell. Every Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, we're talking about every Monday. Talk to you guys about business sales, increasing income. You guys make sure to post below or comment below, share with your friends and people you know that's in business sales. Every Monday we do this, and today we're talking rejection. The fact that it's a numbers game. The fact that you shouldn't get discouraged after being rejected over something, and the fact that you should continue pushing forward, because rejection is definition for is translation. Let's say it's translation for greatness. The more rejection I get, the more greatness I can have from this deal, from this situation, from the one thing that's rejecting me, or resisting me. The more rewarding, the more rewarding it becomes. So we already talked about business. I got into that. I talked about, as far as how it could be applied to your personal life. Now we're going to dive straight into sales. Now here's the thing. So this is one actually all the courses that we offer are we have over 460 courses on everything sales. I tell people all the time, we're like the Harvard of sales when it comes to sales training, my company, which is one of the services that we offer. But one of the very main, I would say the main courses that we touch on, which is very important, is rejection. Like we have courses on how to overcome rejection, how to deal with it. And it's touched, to be honest with you, it ties into a lot of the different courses that we have. We just structure it differently, where we teach on how to apply it to each and every course. But overall, it all has to do with rejection. I mean, you're being rejected, whether it's an objection, whether it's a complaint, whatever it is, you're getting the rejection, and it's learning how to deal with it and then learning how to overcome it. Now, this is why we emphasize on the sales training so much, because it teaches you how to harden up. It teaches you how to get a tough, how to toughen up your shell, how to harden your shell. So that way, when you're out there, you're not getting discouraged. Somebody slams the door in your face, somebody hangs up on you, somebody cusses you out, somebody, tells you I'm not interested or something like that. It's not like, oh, damn, all right, time to quit, time to find something else. It's like, okay, no problem, I'll get him next time. Or, okay, no problem, you know what, I'm going to call him back next week. Or I'll call him back in 10 minutes. Or I'll call him back in an hour. Or I'll call him right back. So this is the stuff that we touch on. This is the stuff we teach. And if you guys want to check that out, you guys go on the website, triworldinc.com/sales-academy, or you can go on a good company site, just look up the services and click on Sales Academy and say everything there. And, you guys can definitely check that out. We have it for, we have the in-person training and online, partner online platform. There's individual training on there for people that are just individuals. People don't want to get with the program as far as the company itself, and you have individuals that are just seeking more information, more training. We have options on there. We also have the sales support that we do for the portal for the academy. There's a number of different options. Just go on the website. You guys can check it out there. Back to today's topic. So tying it into sales. When it comes to rejection, again, rejection means a valuable deal. All right. It's as far as I'm concerned, 90%, even a higher percentage, 95% of the time when you're getting rejected on a deal, it's because it's that valuable. All right. They're not going to reject you for people get rejected for $5 or $10 if they're selling a small product or whatever. But chances are somebody's going to waste their money. And I'm sure you guys could agree with me on this. Chances are somebody would rather waste, $1 or $2 on something, and they're not going to bother, fighting you over it, versus, okay, somebody who's asking you for $2,000, or companies we deal with that's a, $20, $30, $100,000 deals. It's a bigger decision. It's a bigger financial investment. So it requires a lot more thought into it. Therefore, they're going to reject you. They're going to reject you because they're going to be like, look, you're crazy. I'm not going to give you $100,000 just like that. And then then you as a salesperson, you're like, okay, well, maybe what I'm offering is too expensive. Now you start having self-doubt. Maybe what I'm offering is too expensive. Maybe this job isn't for me. Maybe this company isn't for me, as far as maybe I'm just not the right person for the job. So you start having self-doubt, and that comes from the confidence. That's why I say the training is very important, which is the reason why we train on this and we touch on this so hard in my company, and what we offer businesses is for this simple fact alone. The fact is that you have to work at this, and again, if you are getting rejected, then that's the reason why you have to train. You got to train because it's repetition. I don't want to train once a week. I want to train every day, and I want to train multiple times a day. Because the multiple times a day that I train, the less rejection I'm going to have, because then I'm able to figure out what I did wrong, how I can fix it, and what I can do better going forward, so I don't continue getting rejected, and I start getting less no's, more yeses, less rejection, more acceptance. Okay? Rejection also could translate into, you need to analyze what it is that you're doing wrong. Are you calling the right customers? If you are calling the right customers, why are they hanging up on you? Are you offering them the right service? Are you saying the right thing to them? And if you're not saying the right thing to them, what is it that you can say to get their attention long enough so you can say the right thing to them? Okay, so they don't hang up on you as fast. Or if you are in a sale, what it is that you can say to them to get them and keep them in deal long enough so you could go ahead and hand over the contract and say, here you go, sign here. It's not going to be, hey, listen, thank you for your time, but I don't think this is for us. We just don't feel that there's a need or there's, any benefit to it. And that comes from the confidence. So it's like that. A big thing with rejection is also confidence. So it's like I need to be confident not only in the fact of the company that I work for, things that I'm selling and that I'm offering people. I need to be confident myself. I need to be 100% sold on my ability, my skill, okay, that I'm the right person for them, and that what it is I'm offering them is in fact going to help their business or is in fact going to help their company in whatever case, whatever it is you're selling. If I'm selling a car, I want to be sold on the car so much that I could talk all day about that car, brag about the car, and explain to the customer why they need to buy that car over every other car that I'm selling in the lot. Why they need to buy that one. Listen, you need to buy the red car because the red car is better for X, Y, and Z. You guys that are in the car industry, you guys that are in the automotive industry, this is for you. This is you guys know the industry better than anybody. You need to determine why the red car is better than the black car. Why the black car is better than the silver car. Why these features, they need to have them. You know, some people are like, I don't need a sunroof. That's your job to explain to them, no, you do need a sunroof, and this is why. You know? Oh, I just want a basic car. I don't need heated seats. We're in Florida. Well, I'm going to tell you why you need heated seats in Florida. This is, and again, this shows you the reasons why you need to have a good understanding of training, the reasons why you have to have a good level of confidence, because the confidence is going to create confidence within the customer. It's going to create less rejection for you. You know, same thing as a career. You go up to a job interview. All right, you go up to a job interview. Now you're selling yourself. You go up to the job interview. You need to explain to the job why they need to hire you. Not just, here's my resume. Hope you like it. I want to work for your company really bad. Hope you choose me. No, it's, here's my resume. Let me explain to you about myself, what it is that I can offer, things that the resume won't be able to explain like I can. And this is what I can do. This is what I have. This is what I have to offer. This is what makes me different. You guys got to go down the list. That's the level of confidence. That creates the less rejection. You're still going to get rejected in a lot of other cases. All right. We tell this to salespeople all the time. You make 100 calls, 97 calls you're going to get hung up on. 97 calls you're going to get said, I'm not interested to. 97 calls are not going to happen. But the 3 calls are. Now, how do you increase the 3 calls to 6, to 12? By making more calls. Okay, by getting better at what you do, by getting better at your pitch, by sharpening, by training, okay, by going online and finding training programs like what my company offers, like what we do, so you guys can get better at sales, so you guys can get better at explanations and explaining things, so you guys get your confidence level from here to here. You know, this is what we constantly explain. The level of rejection that you get is because you're not confident and you're not working at it hard enough. You're not as persistent as you need to be. The persistence, the confidence, and the skill, okay, or your offer are the 3 things that's going to get you closer to having less rejection, more results, period, anywhere. I don't care. Like I said, I'm going to take it back to the guy approaching a girl, the person going to look for a job, the person that's looking for a raise, the person that's looking for a higher up position, the person that's looking to apply for a position that's available within the company that they've been working for, the salesman that's going out, calling on businesses, knocking on doors, you know, the salesman that's out there, you know, and again, knocking on doors. You know, the business owner that's looking to get new deals and new business and build new relationships, you're going to get rejected. The level of confidence, the level of skill, your true understanding of how hard it is that you need to train, you need to be confident, and your level of persistence is going to be exactly what's going to get you guys closer to getting a deal, getting your win, okay, and having the results that you'd like to have. And those are your wins. At the end of the day, those are your wins. Your win is getting the final result. You get more wins by learning how to deal with the rejection, learning how to overcome the rejection, and learning how to just understand that there's always going to be rejection there, accepting it. Accepting that there's going to be rejection, learning how to get around it, learning how to take it in and use it for you instead of letting it be against you. And again, turning those rejections and the resistance that you're getting into wins, gains, and successes. And that's pretty much it for today's show. Just wanted to pretty much wrap that up. It's Monday, and it's a new week, and hope everything that I just said helped out. You guys make sure to again post, comment below, share with your friends. Tune in every Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys were in Champ's Corner. I'll see you guys next Monday. You guys have a good week. Kill it as usual. Use these tips and strategies to get you guys where it is you want to be, get those wins, stop having to deal with the rejection, or stop having to let the rejection get a hold of you, and start using it to your advantage, and you guys will be a lot more successful. I'll see you guys next Monday.